cheesiest.
Welcome to This Won't Last podcast. Thank you for joining us today. We're continuing our month-long Holla-ween Shocktober Spooktaclar. It's our third episode or fourth episode in the series. We'll be talking about a few things, do some news, do some loaded questions. We're going to have a main topic. I think we're going to go with Rotten Tomatoes list of worst all-time horror movies.
Sure.
All right. So, before we get this scary endeavor started, to my left is P. Breezy.
Hello.
The fax machine. The fax machine. The hacks machine. Because it's spooky, it's Halloween.
I mean, fax machines are scary.
That's true. People are afraid of the facts. And to my right is D-Easy, the
cheesy boy. The cheesiest.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a spread of cheese. Y'all don't see it, but like if you was looking here, it'll be cheese everywhere.
Enough to make Arsenio angry.
Except D's disappointing because there aren't 1,000 cheddars here.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about macaroni, bruh.
So
you should have led with that.
Out there in social media land, let us know what you think. Does cheddar make the best macaroni, or would you pick a different cheese?
Yeah, that's a good question.
So hit us up on the Instagram. I am Ryan Beyond Line. So D, you had a bit of a question.
So I have a story and a heartfelt question.
I'm out.
I think Miss Debbie is gonna cry when she hears the story. So there's a older lady in my community where I work at, and I call her my Cinderella. She's like 100, and like she just turned 100, I think, and she has stage 4 cancer. She was supposed to die 6 months ago. Every time I see her, I be like, "There go my Cinderella."
But she's being stubborn.
I tell you. So she comes in the other day. I haven't seen her in a while. Matter of fact, I always check with her niece to see if she's still alive, and she's still kicking it. So I see her, and I run to give her a hug, really softly, cause like she felt like a baby. She's so small, like a little baby. And the first thing I say to her is, "I heard you kicking death in the booty." She just busts out laughing. Which then she says, "I'm ready to go." She's like, "All my friends are gone. I'm just ready to go. I'm tired of fighting and all that." And then I cheer her up by saying, heaven is going to be gaining the angel, but we're going to be losing one and everything. So it was a very good conversation. But then she gives me a gift, right? Now, I don't know whether I should open the gift yet. I'm wondering, should I wait till she pass on and open the gift? Or should I open the gift now? I kind of want to wait till she pass on so it can be see what she thinking.
She don't like it.
No, I got an idea what it is. But this is what the twins say. You should open it now because what if there's a check in there?
It's still good after she dies.
I'm not thinking like that.
Long as it was dated prior to her death, it's still good.
Unless you close the account quick.
But my whole idea was okay, well maybe because I believe in the afterlife. But maybe she'll be looking down on me and everything, and she see me open the gift, and she can see my face and all that. So what do you guys think? When should I open the gift?
Probably now, so you can thank her for it.
Well, I already thank her for it. I gave her a kiss and everything.
Tom?
Is it a box or an envelope?
Don't talk about my baby mama like that.
Is it a box or an envelope?
It's a box.
Let's say open it. That way, again, if it's like a piece of clothing, you can wear it while she's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was the one time she was coming out. I'm thinking she's ready to go. Any day now I can go to work and
even more reason. What was the scarf?
Well, every morning.
You finally have the scarf you're in a white girl always wanted.
Yes.
If you're lucky, if she knows you, it's an infinity scarf. It goes forever. Like your love for her.
It never die.
What? Is that a fat person joke?
So y'all say open it. What do you say, Miss Debbie? Open it. Y'all put in the description below. Should I open the gift or should I keep it by my bedside? Every morning I wake up, I can think of her.
Listen, I suggest you open it, and when you realize that Rose left you the heart of the ocean blue, you can go ahead and sell it.
Or live your dream and throw that bitch in the ocean.
Yeah.
just opening at the beach like this.
It's been 80 years.
No, but she is such a sweetheart, man. She is
Did she
so
offer
nice.
to draw you like one of her French girls?
Huh?
Did she offer to draw you like one of her French girls?
Bro, she's like blue everywhere because the veins is just coming through.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm saying that like not as anything negative, but like if it is something that like you say like maybe like you could wear, like I'm sure she would appreciate seeing it like before she goes.
Look how much he loves it.
That's why I was asking if it was like a box or an envelope. If it was an envelope, then it's either a card or something small, maybe a picture or something like that.
I'm pretty sure it's a glass slipper. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'm pretty sure. That's right? That's what I'm saying. See? That's what I'm saying. That would be cute.
It's gay as fuck, but it's adorable.
It's not gay because it came from a lady. Even though she's 100, that don't matter. I got good 100 women game.
Good for you.
But I also wonder, did she like have a black lover back in the day that she had to hide and I remind her of him?
Maybe she was in the original Mandingo.
There you go.
Maybe she tamed her own King Kong.
There's a fella at my gate. He looked just like Javis from back in the day.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
They're good people. Her daughter is I'm sorry. I used to think that was her daughter. That's her niece. Her niece is so amazing. She came down. She's from North Carolina. She came down to take care of her auntie as she was passing because the auntie didn't have any kids. Yeah. But I'm a big fan of like elder because they have so much knowledge and so much wisdom.
Some of them.
Yeah. I am also worried about the twins opening on their own.
Why do you think they're gonna sell it?
Nah, I just think they nosy. They nosy. They have boundary problems. They don't give me no boundaries.
True.
I'm on the toilet. Can I have some cereal? Why you gotta ask me to go eat, man? They ain't never put no chain on food. Go. Why you gotta come in here?
Drop that deuce.
The other day I'm trying to get rid of something. Next time, can I just please have some give me some room, but I just need some privacy.
Yeah, you want some cereal? I'm about to make you some Cocoa Puffs.
What was the drops?
Yeah.
So that's my dilemma right there. Should I open my Cinderella gift?
So shout out in the comments. What should D do? Should D accept his 100-year-old? What's the opposite of a sugar mama?
I think you need to put respect on her name. She loved me.
All right. Cindy.
Odessa. Her name is Jean Kelly.
Okay.
Oh, should I say that?
Nobody listens to this. It's fine.
Her name is Jean. I mean,
I'm not sure what the opposite is. I feel like it has plantation in the name.
Her name is How You Getting Them Jeans?
ha.
Like, seriously, how did you not break a hip?
Befriending old people is my thing now. Like I befriend a lot of old people.
Congrats.
Mm-hmm. I got a lot of jibs.
Just remember, a few years ago they had different thoughts about you.
That's what we celebrate. The growth.
I mean, I feel like you're just do they always want pictures with you?
No.
Okay.
No.
When they start taking pictures, it's probably for the wrong reasons.
I know when I'm being token. Paul, not just play.
Wow. Wow.
So that's the question. Continue, Ray.
Thank you, Egon. Wait, which one does that make you?
Rocksteady?
No. Rocksteady. You called me Ray, I called him Egon.
I guess I'll be Winston.
Yeah, but if it's the tracks.
None of us are Bill Murray, so let's just be honest.
True. None of us are that cool. Alright. On to the news. After that heartwarming story, We'll go into a little bit of a sad story. Very recently, Chris Ayers, the American voice actor for Frieza, passed away this week at the age of 56 after a 4-year battle with end-stage cardiac obstructive pulmonary disease. He voiced dozens of characters and hundreds of projects throughout anime and video games, most famous for his take on Frieza, when he took over the English dub of the character in Dragon Ball Z Kai. Very different from the original voice. Just completely... The original voice had this very raspy... Was it done by a woman or not?
I think a guy. I think it was a guy. I could be wrong.
I think it was the same person who did Genkai in Yu Yu Hakusho.
All right.
But his take was entirely different. A little bit almost like flamboyant, dare we say?
Oh, 100%. I think it had a lot more depth to it, too.
Yep.
He was, last thing he did for the Z World was...
I'm going to ignore that.
In D's World, he had a passing as well.
We're not doing that. I was just trying to tell... I said that just because that was the only person that I had heard died.
Let's bring him up. Listen to this. I mean, listen. There's not a lot to talk about. Again, Chris Ayers, long career. Always like that. A role player in the voice acting community. Never one of the big guys. Always stayed active.
Doesn't have a name like Steve Bloom.
Yeah.
What's your boy with the deep voice?
Steve Bloom.
Yeah, the other guy with the deep voice. Steve Bloom.
Stephen Bloom?
Yeah, the other guy, Keith David and some other shit. But anyways, he's been dealing with this for 4 years, so it's not like a surprise.
Yeah,
and it's been public for 4 years. It's not like Chadwick Boseman just like he kept the secret the entire time. Just like your boy, I don't remember his name, but the guy who played Gunther on Friends.
Yep,
he's been dealing with it for a long time. Part of the reason why he didn't make it to the in-person reunion they had this year on HBO Max.
Oh, that was why.
Yeah, because he's been sick for a hot minute. You could tell. I mean, he was pretty noticeably weathered in the clips he was in.
Speaking of Gunther,
this is interesting.
I just found out how good TV Land is. TV Land is so good. It has all the good classic American shows.
Well, what decade are they in now?
Huh?
What decade are they in now?
Well, so you got Everybody Loves Raymond. You got Friends.
Classic.
You got King of Queens, which is amazing. One of the best shows that ever been made. You got Golden Girls, which they trying to do the remake of the Golden Girls with black women, and I don't like the cast. They got Sanaa Lathan. Oh, was that a real thing?
I didn't hear about that.
Okay. Well,
maybe
maybe it was a joke.
So I think is this recent or something you heard a while ago?
About this time last year.
Okay, no, that was just they were just doing it for charity.
Okay,
they were doing a live read on Zoom for some kind of charity. They were just they had the different actresses playing different roles. They were just reading a script from one of the episodes. It wasn't a real thing. Again, Grant, don't get me wrong. If it did well, they maybe would have thought about it. But it didn't go anywhere to my knowledge.
They got rid of MASH, but I can forgive them for that.
I think that's very strange, putting those shows on TV Land. Because, at least, to my recollection, back in the day, when we were younger watching TV Land, you're talking about shows from, the 40s and 50s, things that were at least 30-plus years old. Everybody Loves Raymond's probably not even 20 years old yet.
It's coming up, though.
Right around.
Yeah, it's coming up.
I still think that a 20-year-old show is a little bit... I wouldn't call that classic territory. That wouldn't be the oldies yet.
Well, sure, but keep in mind too, when we were coming up, they didn't have 27 streaming sites competing with them.
That's true.
They were the only place showing old shows.
Yeah.
And then to be fair, also they got they got shows that are current. They just Cedric Entertainer. He has a show on TV Land.
But it's played out though.
It's funny because in the first 2 seasons, his household was the focus, and now they focus on another household, which is kind of hilarious.
Paul's having some difficulty with his crackers.
And
Story of his life.
But anyway, yeah. So I was. I'm kind of good. They got some good shows on TV Land. Continue, Ray.
So, gentlemen, it's been a recent case in the news. Everybody's been talking about it. A lot of developments fairly recently. Very specifically, most recently, Brian Laundrie was his alleged body was found in a alleged body was found in a swamp, more or less, a preserve. This is one of the I guess not anymore, obviously, but was one of the initial suspects for the disappearance of Gabby Petitto. The YouTube's
was he a suspect? I thought he was a suspect because he
person
used.
Of interest, I think, but
I thought he was a suspect because he used her credit card. He was a suspect in robbery.
yeah,
He was a suspect. He was the only person to see her for months.
yeah.
Yeah, but they never came out and said he was a suspect in the murder.
Because again, you can't really have a suspect until you have a body,
Yep.
or it's gone a certain period of time, or you have evidence to prove that she's no longer with us.
Which they did finally find the body, and they did determine the cause of death was strangulation, which of course looks worse and worse for the only guy who was with her for the last few days of her lives. But again, allegedly, his body has been found. They confirmed it through dental records.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't read enough about it to know whether or not like his skull was still intact, and the dental records they found were like attached to his.
They
his
could have
jaw.
used the skin or something.
It said his body was skeletal.
That fast?
I know that was extremely curious to me.
It goes that fast.
Depending on where he is, it's yeah.
I thought water preserves it.
No, not necessarily. First off, that would be like
amazing. I didn't
clear
know that.
fresh water could possibly slow down deterioration, but you're talking about like a swamp. There are animals and bacteria and bugs and all sorts of stuff that could pick a body clean pretty quickly, but it does certainly seem very suspicious.
That's crazy. The buzzers got him.
Somebody probably got him. I don't know, but if he didn't get himself,
Where'd he go?
No, yeah. That was my take. That was my only take on this.
Dog needed to stay the fuck out of
Dude, dog behind him and tell him, I'm going to find him. I'm going to do this, and I'm going. And he's probably in the Midwest area. I'm like, bruh.
Right in Florida.
Then you had people calling police and the FBI talking them they seeing Brian Lanier up. Did you hear about the story in Philadelphia?
He needed to stay the hell out of that. Like, that was ridiculous.
No, but it was like random people saying that they seen Brian Lanier in like stores and stuff like that. Oh, look, this dude dead in Florida somewhere.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why Dog needs to stay out of it, because that's all he's going to do is make other people come up and be like, I'm going to be involved in this. Either way, it's a sad thing. I did read earlier today that they are still waiting on DNA confirmation.
How you gonna get that? Bones, I guess. Yeah. Bone marrow.
Bone marrow, more than likely, yes. But either way, I mean, like you're talking about, like it's super like suspicious that all this time he's missing, and his parents just basically took them to the spot.
Yeah. And
like they found some of his belongings and remains that were stripped clean, that were skeletal, and the only thing they could identify him with was teeth or his dental records.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Again, it makes me wonder: is like, were the teeth still intact in the skull, or was it something that the teeth had come out? Like, because they could just hire a dentist to pull his teeth.
Who provided the dental records?
You can.
That don't matter. You can get it from a dentist.
I mean, but if the parents did, I kept thinking, did they kill somebody?
That's
what I'm saying.
That's the same thing I said to twins.
They didn't get a body, and then like just hire a dentist, somebody who do something under the table, take his teeth out,
and make some fake teeth,
and just put him with the body. Like, hey, get out! You want to get out of murdering somebody?
That's gonna be interesting to see what the bone research results gonna be.
It could very well just be him. Like maybe he.
I mean, all I'm going to say is if he wasn't smart enough to hide that murder better, he wasn't smart enough to hide his own disappearance.
Yeah. But I'm gonna say this though: you think your mama tell y'all? Think y'all parents to tell y'all that? Miss Breeze just close your ears.
I'm fairly sure my parents wouldn't. I don't know. They might turn me in, but my sister did some shady shit. Not like murder people, but they basically tried to help her out every step of the way. But
I'd be thinking to myself, like, would I turn Zion in the end? Like, I hope I would, but I don't know. I don't know that answer right now. They're my babies. I don't know the answer.
You know the answer. You know the answer.
Yeah, his body over there. That's the only thing I can tell them. Better check the bones, because I don't know about the dental. I work 2 jobs now. I got a little money.
That's why you're smart. You never see to a dentist. No records.
Yeah.
Boom.
No, that's kind of like that's a good question right there. That's the question I wonder is like, would somebody parents turn them in? Like, how many parents would turn their kids in? And the second thing I'm gonna say about this, and this is just my opinion, I don't think if you look at that video call, the video from that police call where they was fighting on the highway and everything, this was a toxic couple. I don't think they should have been allowed to travel. Like, it should have been some grown-ups around them stepped in and intervened like, no, y'all, this can't happen. You know what I mean? Like they're
both adults.
But they had to know they was fighting.
What does that have to do with anything? They're both adults. They can fight if they want.
I don't know. That's just my opinion. I would hope that I would find out Zion is with a dude and very toxic. I'd be like, that's not gonna happen, baby girl.
Let's just be real about it. In that situation, the roles would be reversed.
That's what she'd be done. I'd be hiding her body because she done killed the dude. Well, hey, FBI's over there.
You got to remember with a lot of situations like that, if you do try to step in, it usually makes things worse. No, we love each other. He loves me.
I was saying step in from a standpoint of because she had a lot of mental issues, like Baker actor or something like that, you know.
Yeah, you already said she was on YouTube.
If she's got enough money, she can get out of that shit.
That's true too. Well, I don't know. Now they got Britney good.
Right, but they had
That's day one. That's day one.
That's day one every time.
What they had to do was basically trick her to give up her money.
Well, she's mental. How hard could that be? She's mental. How hard could that be? I don't know. I just thought the travesty in that story is the fact that they were allowed to go out and be that. But this is America.
I mean, you say allowed to. That's a very curious choice of words. Like, people shouldn't be allowed to pick who they want to be with.
And in some cases, I believe they shouldn't. I believe that the way the Indians do it, I think that has a lot of good things about it. Yes. And in mine, I say some cases. Some cases.
When you say Indians, what do you mean?
The dot. Indian, the whole
people from Indian.
What that called when you get when they set your marriage, arranged marriage.
Yeah.
I kind of wish my mom would have did my arranged marriage.
So you know,
picking is the hardest part.
To a girl from Mockley. To a girl from Mockley.
Mama, nationwide search. That's all I ask is nationwide.
What's your like 6 girls and 8 part of your family?
For a lot of those,
I think she would have did better than me.
A lot of those arranged marriages are strictly for like political power or monetary gain, or like just so that the families get something out of it.
Social benefits or financial benefits.
No, I get that. But still, I think that would be better than what I'm dealing with.
Fine, D. I'll find you an arranged marriage.
I got from the standpoint of the person that loves you the most and will probably have the best outlook for you in most cases is your parents. And the same for the other person. But also I have a very different look on marriage anyways. Like, I don't really believe that like love is what makes a marriage hold or holds a marriage.
I would agree with you that it's love is not enough. But
I'm saying period.
Like it should be a completely loveless marriage based solely on
obligation
to one's family.
I mean, what I mean by that is just because you love somebody, that doesn't mean that y'all should be married. It should be like,
I agree.
It should be commitment. Like, Are you with somebody that's going to hold to this commitment and look forward to work it out? I do everything I do because I'm committed to the marriage to make it work.
Compatibility and commitment. You need to be able to get along.
I think that's all a part of commitment. Well, compatibility and commitment.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you
commit to people you don't get along with, it's not going to go well. But
well, what I mean commitment is when things start, going left and everything. Are we committed to each other enough to say, okay, let's go and get help. Let's try to fix this. That's more or less what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Now, listen, I already told you, I started this conversation saying that I wanted my mama to arrange my marriage. So you got to take that. And I say gospel.
Listen, there's a lot of factors to go into it. If you want a good kind of breakdown of it, I would say season 1. Check out season 1 of Master of None. They have some good takes on that.
I thought you say season 1 of the marriage, season 2 of the marriage.
Nice.
What?
I thought you would say season 1 of the marriage, do this, season 2, do that.
No, Master of None had a good take on a lot of that stuff. Because again, like, a lot of the characters in there were Indian and from Southeast Asia who had to deal with a lot of, like their families dealt with a lot of arranged marriages. And the main character Aziz, who, his parents were brought together by arranged marriage, and he's out, like, the whole point of the series is like him trying to, like, find himself, find, a girl, and going through his life.
Now, this reality I just wrote.
It's fiction. I mean, he borrows a lot of things from his life and from other people's lives and things like that, but it has some good takes on that. And again, like, things that we don't have the experiences with.
I think a lot of times when we look at arranged marriages, I think we look at it from a Western mind point. And when you look in the East, like a lot of the women, I was part of this like YouTube group where they were just talking about discussing marriages, period. And they had the first panel was like people who had a choice in marriage. And then the second part was like a lot of like, it was like Muslims, people like that who had no choice in marriage. It was arranged and everything. And it seemed like a lot of the arrangements was kind of happy. Other ones was divorced.
Well, because even choice,
anything that you want,
even choice for a long time was subjective. Like one of the stats they talk about in that series, and she actually wrote, he did a book also with this relationship expert, and one of the facts that they talked about was for a very long time, like early 20th century especially, a large number of people, like, they married somebody who grew up within 4 blocks of where they grew up. It was a very small. The world was small, so you didn't go very far to find the love of your life.
Oh, you found them at work or through friendship.
And then as the world got bigger and the world got larger through travel, through globalization, through the internet, through social media. Now even more so the idea of finding the one. We'll have people on Tinder or on Bumble or whatever else, have their window be from here, be 3,000 miles. Yeah. Like, are you going 3,000 miles for a first date? Like, are you going to date entirely on Zoom before you meet somebody? Like, it's the idea has changed a lot. So yeah, I mean, again, yeah, like the idea of choice 60 years ago was just anybody within 4 blocks of me. Because again, you're not going too far, probably, because you're dealing with people who have the same culture, the same upbringing, or the same goals as you. And again, too, realize a lot of people too is just more about, I'm supposed to get married by this time. I'm supposed to have a house. I'm supposed to have kids. I'm supposed to do this. Hell, I'm rewatching Mad Men. A lot of that shit goes through the entire series.
Even my uncle and my auntie Van, she had her first child from Tyrone Warren. They was kids when they got together. My uncle, he's with my auntie now, Irene Warren, Tyrone's sister. Like, they've been married all my life. They've been married since my mom said they've been married since they were 14. Like, and the house they was raised in was here, and Howard's house is here, and the Warren's house is here. So it's like 3 houses between them two. So I get that.
So how much that was a choice?
Yeah, my auntie old and she's still kind of fine. Jerome, I'm kind of fine.
Well, and the thing about it, D, is interesting when you point something like that out. When you talk about commitment, is it commitment to the marriage or a happy marriage?
Okay, so I also want to say this too. In this situation, you're looking at marriage more like a business as well, as like a contract.
In the situation you're talking about?
Yeah. Because that's what the American or the West marriage is coming down to be, is more contracts. Like business partners.
I think that's not a solely Western thing, but...
I just realized how we got to this point.
Yeah.
I forgot we were talking about the Gabby Petitto case.
And they didn't even get married.
Oh, and I care way more about this conversation than Gabby Petitto.
I'm just saying, I would like to see, I don't know, I would like to, as I'm older, I would never tell Ziona this, but I would like to pick her, man. I think I would pick a really good man for her. Because all my life experiences lead me to, like, knowing character and stuff like that. That'd be a big help.
I don't know, do you mean you're still friends with us?
That's true.
Strike two. I broke him, yes.
So, I don't believe in arranged marriage no more.
Speaking of broke me. Next topic.
So, recently, we see a first trailer for the Uncharted movie. Long in development hell. Initially, this movie had fan casting of Nathan Fillion attached to play Nathan Drake. Then it eventually turned into a potential horror show of having Marky Mark as Nathan Drake, and then that got put on the back burner.
Oh, that's why Marky Mark in this.
Well, for various reasons, but so that got put on the back burner. And then they recently talked about putting Tom Holland in it, very questionably, because Nathan Drake is typically the 30-ish-year-old man, and Tom Holland is an eternal boy.
He is the second coming of Michael J. Fox.
Yep. I suppose it'd be kind of the third coming, because I think your boy Superbad was probably also the eternal boy.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
But Michael Cera?
Yep.
Yep. Michael Cera was the second coming of Michael J. Fox. Anywho,
now it's Michael Spider-Man.
Now it's Tom Holland is Nathan Drake, and Marky Mark is in the movie, but as his gruff older Uncle Sully.
So before we go into it, I want Dee to give his take on it, because he's in Unsullied.
He has no experience with the
franchise, with any of this. He's coming into this blind.
So I do know who Nathan Drake was or is, and I do think that Tom Holland, because I connect him with Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is a kid, I connect him with being a kid. But at the same time, the action in the commercial, it looks like it's gonna be a really good action movie.
Action movie?
It's gonna have a lot of quests and action and kind of like that Jack Sparrow feel and all that, without the drunken, but with a kid. So it's like a prequel to Uncharted, basically.
It's supposed to take place in his younger days, apparently.
It has to, because Tom Holland is 12 years old.
Yep. And Marky Mark refuses to have a mustache, and is basically being Marky Mark the entire time.
I'm glad they didn't put Marky Mark as Drake.
Yeah, me too. They should have put Nathan Fillion, and they should have made this film like 8 years ago.
I agree when it was at the highest, because I think Uncharted 3 started dying down.
Well, here's the thing. I'm fine with them making a movie now, because again, like, the franchise is on hiatus. Even the most recent movie, game was 2 years ago?
4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was female led, which is a departure anyways. So, and again, honestly, I think it's one of the few series where every game in the series gets positive reviews.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. To varying degrees. Like, I think they probably like 2 was the peak. Then it kind of started getting downside on 3, and I think 4 had surprisingly positive reception.
I remember 3 because it was like the first one to come out on PS4.
Yeah, yeah.
The other one was on PS4, but it wasn't like it
It
started.
was it was a port, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, like but these are games that are built cinematically.
Yeah.
Like they're built to be like bro Indiana Jones.
Yep.
Like fuck boy Indiana Jones.
What Indiana Jones in the preview?
No.
Wasn't in the trailer?
I don't think
Not
so.
as Indiana Jones. I'm talking about the dude that played him.
Harrison Ford.
No, there
I'm looking at
was
something else.
Antonio Banderas.
Maybe. Damn him.
There was a large Scottish fella.
Yeah,
ahead, Brian.
the concept of the video games was always more or less, what if Indiana Jones, but a video game? So, like, the concept of making this into a movie is kind of silly to begin with, because it's a movie of a video game that was inspired by movies that were inspired by old-timey cereals. Not like that you eat, like, you know.
So, this one is, but the basic plot of it is gold, right?
It doesn't matter. Trailer.
I think it's following one of the. It's been a while since I played them, so I think it's following one of them. I mean, it's always been kind of like the undertone, I think, because it's been teased that he's related to a famous explorer.
Yeah.
Which is why it's even more confusing that they're throwing in the brother in this already.
Yeah.
Which wasn't until like 3 or 4 they brought him in.
I think it was 4. But...
And really, honestly, like the best, I would say the best part, but besides like the actual like action, like, you know, letting you play these really like visually amazing like scenes, like between, you know, running through a city, having an earthquake, you know, fighting on a train while a helicopter's shooting at you, climbing up a train as it's on the edge of a cliff, or running up cargo as it's falling out of a plane.
That's kind of cool.
You know that scene in Suicide Squad where they're running up the building as it falls down?
Yeah.
Okay, you get to basically play that scene.
Wow.
You're running.
You're
through,
not running up it. You're sliding down.
Yeah,
it.
you're running through Nepal as it's going through a massive earthquake,
That's cool.
and it looks amazing. It's like you're surviving through this building, and then every once in a while you get to the top of the building and see it happening in the distance, like the rest of the city like falling apart. It's just done really well, and like the shooting's solid. Some things are a little get a little hickey here and there, but overall like solid mechanics.
Yep.
But like besides obviously the action, like one of the best parts is really just Nathan talking shit. So like just like him and Sully together, or him and the girls. Great, fantastic, because the women, like, they're not just like Bond girls, like they like put him in his place constantly, because he's intelligent, but he can be pretty stupid at times.
Yep.
And he'll definitely put his foot in his mouth. So like you need a man. Like, I love Tommy, but he's not a man.
Yeah.
He's a grown ass boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's fucking Peter Pan.
I'll never grow up.
Like he's gonna be one of those things like just like Michael J. Fox, where he's gonna go from looking 20 years old the rest of his entire life, and then one day you'll see me like, oh god, he's 50. Like, what happened? Like, it's just gonna happen overnight. Like, honestly, I think the only reason like it's happening to Michael J. Fox so fast was because of Parkinson's. Otherwise, he probably would have kept looking young for a pretty long time. He did, honestly, but the casting is wrong.
Man, shout out to Michael J. Fox for still being alive.
More steady ground.
Yeah, nice. I hate. Actually, I just in general don't like Mark Wahlberg. In general, because he's always just doing Mark Wahlberg.
Is it because he beats up Vietnamese people?
I mean,
To
this
be
is
fair,
indicative
he
of
beat
his
up every
personality.
people.
No, like this is in real life.
He just isn't a good. What's the word?
But when he out there just talking, when he was young, when he was Mark yelling at, calling people black people the N-word.
I don't know, maybe, but no, he like kicked the shit out of some like Asian dude back in the day, like
For what?
because he's a racist asshole.
Just because he was Asian?
I believe so.
And he still got a career? What else back in the day?
Back in the day,
I think people get canceled for less.
He's a Boston douchebag.
Boston.
He's of course he's racist.
Boston.
Yeah, he's terrible. Tom Holland's terrible choice. Again, I like Tom Holland, but he just sounds. He has that like young boy voice too. Like he just like I can't take him seriously.
Yeah.
I can't take him seriously in the same way as like a Nathan Drake. Like if you hear Nolan North's voice, hearing Tom Holland just fucks with you.
Yep.
Like hearing a grown man talk and then hearing him talk, it just doesn't fit. Like kudos on getting Tom Holland's outfits correct, long sleeve shirt and gun holsters.
Yep.
Mark Wahlberg refuses to wear the outfits because really, like honestly, and here's what it is. Here's what's so fun about these guys is they're both kind of carefree guys. Nathan maybe is a little bit more like on the mission at most times, but he still has a the snarky comment every once in a while. Sully is like been there, done that. He's just running around smoking cigars, wearing either Cuban shirts or Hawaiian shirts, and just living his best life.
And they got your girl in that. I seen her in the trailer, Shaniqua from Walking Dead, and then she doing Star Trek now. She
was?
Yeah.
I missed her.
Anyway, so she's married now, but I got to wait till she's 100. I've proven that.
But yeah, they just
Who's going to arrange that?
All our parents are gonna be dead.
It's missing. I don't know. It just doesn't have that like that vibe between the two characters that really helps like sell the movie. And I don't really feel him with him and Chloe either. Like I don't feel it. I mean, I hope it gets better. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they just picked the wrong stuff. Although it looks like they chose a lot of the stuff for this trailer.
So I've never seen him outside of the Marvel universe, so I don't know his acting chops when we talk about Tom Holland.
He's only so he did one movie where he played like a British soldier in like the late 1800s, early 1900s. It was silly. And then he was in another movie that the studio refuses to release with Daisy Ridley. They just won't release that movie because it's a hot mess. And that's pretty much it. And done a whole lot.
Do they get paid even though they don't release the movie?
Yep.
Also, he don't care.
I mean, you spend like a year making a thing. You want it to be out there. And again, like most of them get bonuses for like how well
numbers,
it does.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, none of them like I don't. I think they enjoyed making it while they were doing it. I think they thought it was probably gonna be something, but
no, I also think this about Hollywood, like, and I understand why they do it, but like they prejudge it, I think, too much. But I understand why, because they got money to be made or missed on it. Like they says, not they, but what's the Wayans boy, the youngest one?
What?
What's the youngest Wayans name?
Damian Wayans Jr.?
No, I'm talking about out of the brothers.
Marlon
Wayans said he did a movie written by his brother, the bald-headed one. Oh, they both bald-headed. God, dog.
Keenan?
Not Keenan, the other one. Damon. I told you, man, COVID been messing with me.
I just said the name.
But anyways, he said he did a movie that was written by him, and it's a really good movie. Chris Rock came out and said it was an amazing movie. Like, a lot of people are saying this movie amazing, but Damien is scared to put it out. You know, it's stuff like that. I'm like, bro, let people be a judge. But I understand, because money behind that stuff.
True that.
But Marlon thinks that this is the movie that he can win an Oscar on.
Oh, the optimism.
Well, listen, no, Marlon got some chops. He's been working on his acting.
Listen, I want to be optimistic. I want Uncharted to do well. Hope Marlon gets his shot.
He gets his Oscar.
He gets his shot. I mean, he really hasn't done anything serious since. Well, I mean, I guess the term serious is subjective, but since Requiem for a Dream.
What, did you see Naked?
Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah. I mean that.
I don't even know what.
The one where he's running around city naked.
But it's really a really good story.
That's not a drama. I'm just saying it's not a drama. It's not a serious movie.
I think it is, because like it's a reason why he's running around naked. It's a real dramatic movie. Yeah, for me, I was dramatic.
Okay.
When I watched it, it was dramatic to me.
It was sold as a comedy, so
I can see that.
So Mixed
You don't.
reviews
You can't win an Oscar for comedies.
Yep,
in the category of comedy.
kind of. But they don't have like best actor in a. Do they have best actor in a comedy?
I don't know.
I think it's just best
It's
actor.
the Oscars, so I don't care.
Yeah.
The Smiths told us we can't watch the blacks can watch the Oscars.
Who's the Smiths?
Will and Jada.
Did they,
Wait a minute, I don't watch the Oscars.
did they tweet? Did they tweet that? Did they tweet that from the audience?
Nice.
Huh?
They tweet that while they were in the audience.
Right? Well, we know they hypocrites. It was really because that's the year that he did that movie Concussion,
Yeah.
and he didn't get no Oscar play. So they were like, we need to start watching the Oscar and all that. People were like, yeah, we do.
10 years ahead of you, Will. 10 years ahead of you.
That's where the hashtag Oscar so white came from.
Drinky. What are you drinking, Paul? Oh.
What's up?
The one time I try to take a quick snack, the whole thing falls apart.
Oh, what are you
When
drinking?
you decided to do the cue for what you
Because I wanted to skip the
after you
next
shove
topic.
food in your gullet.
Took one small bite and I don't want to chew on camera, so I'm backing away from it.
Camera.
What are you drinking, DeLacy? High Noon, Sunsip, vodka and soda, watermelon flavor. Brought to you by No Sugar Added.
Nailed it.
How is it?
It has you can taste the watermelon flavor,
Yeah.
but it also has like a cucumber flavor.
Nice.
So it's kind of weird that I don't see cucumber on here.
It's
Weird good or weird bad?
Weird in the middle,
watermelons are the same kind of family as cucumbers.
basically.
Like, I think they have a similar flavor to them. If you chew on rind, it's kind of like a sour cucumber.
Yeah.
How would you rate that?
This drink, I think it's supposed to be a seltzer, right, Paul?
No, it's actually
It's vodka.
it's actually a cocktail. It's just vodka and
Well, they only have 2 grams of sugar, so that's good for me. It's gluten free, no sugar added. So I guess it's supposed to be a healthy alcoholic drink. Not a lot of alcohol in it.
I mean they're all selling low carb, low calorie, all that stuff.
Keep those in
I give it about a 6,
out of
10,
so a little above average,
and
slightly
10
above average.
and 10 would be a rum and coke.
Okay.
I actually really enjoyed it. I don't remember that flavor specifically because I was drinking a lot when I had it. But yeah, because I had that side by side with the seltzer, and I enjoyed the High Noon a lot better. Hashtag not sponsored.
I enjoy the seltzers, but I put them in the same range as this drink right here.
Nice. So we were talking about the why the seltzers have a different flavor than something like that, and largely what it seems to be is most of the seltzers are like actual malt beverages. Like they use a malt mixture and to ferment it in order to get the alcohol, whereas this is just vodka and soda. So it's like the malt alcohol, malt liquor type beverage or malt beverage, flat out. They tend to have this sort of like what I call like a cereal type flavor, like a grain, almost like a bran flake type deal.
I can see that.
And I think in that one, it's a bit more absent because it's it's vodka. Vodka's made with neutral grain spirits. Doesn't really tend to have much flavor, but it provides a kick.
You're damn right.
You know, in the Coming to America, when he's fake mocking, he'll like, when you think of the trash, you need to think of a king. When I think of the alcohol, I need to think of Ryan.
There you go. That's right. Ryan is trash. Paul, what are you drinking?
Cheese.
Cheese? You're drinking cheese?
Cheese. No. Same family as D. I'm just drinking vodka tonic.
Nice. Very cool.
Mr. Ryan, what are you drinking? Wait, sorry. What do you rate that?
Vodka tonic?
Yeah.
10. Actually, that's probably one of his favorites.
Solid go-to. I'm running low on ginger beer, so I can't have any more mules. So, it's a solid go-to.
Ryan, Mr. Birmingham, what are you drinking?
So, I'm going to be the outlier here.
Back at.
And y'all are drinking vodka sodas or vodka tonics. I am drinking a 12 Fives Rebel Hard Coffee limited edition pumpkin spice latte.
Y'all talking about me. You have the audacity to talk about me and my love for pumpkin spice.
I would say pumpkin spice is fine. It's just that it is not nearly as scarce as people want you to believe.
No, I ain't trying to drink pumpkin spice in summertime. It's a fall flavor for me, and it brings the whole fallness into my whole world.
D is a Fallout boy.
D is a Fallout boy.
It's a hard coffee that has like a pumpkin spice flavor to it, and it's kind of creamy. It's pumpkin's nice. Like, it actually kind of tastes, you want to taste it?
Yeah, I was looking at it like that. I want to taste it.
It actually has, it does have like almost a pumpkin pie flavor to it. The coffee's not really strong, a little bit in the finish. And it's pretty good. I'd give it a 6.5, 7, above average.
It's coffee and milky, so you feel like it's breakfast.
Yeah.
With this pumpkin spice, you feel like breakfast in fall.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Then it adds alcohol, so you feel like a grown man.
Yep.
So it's like a grown man eating breakfast.
In my opinion, but
well, I don't drink a lot of alcohol, so I taste it all.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a good drink.
Got a nice flavor to it. It's only 5% alcohol, unfortunately. So that's like average. Like
you say unfortunately.
Unfortunately, well, because I do drink a lot of alcohol. So for me, 5%, that would probably take like 6 of them just to get a light buzz, and then probably like a good 10 to get a nice buzz going.
Are you doing a Christmas sweater party?
I don't know, Dean. Let's deal with Halloween first.
Cause that should be the drink.
But it's a fall flavor.
And it's fall and winter at Christmas time in Florida. In Florida, we'll get winter to like what, January?
Better buy some now.
You playing? I might go. Where you get that from?
Total Wine, but you can get it a lot of different places. They offer it to us at Publix, but I never sold it very well, so I never accept it.
You know what I can't find nowhere? Hard root beer.
It's passe now.
Oh, okay.
They don't. It's not as big as it used to be.
That's one of my favorite drinks.
If I ever get back into brewing, I'll make one for you.
My dude.
Although the root beers that I make aren't like actual root beers; they're like more like a brown ale that's flavored like a root beer.
Now, can you do it with diet?
No.
Okay. So you can't do it with Splenda?
No, Splenda is not fermentable. But
oh, I didn't know that. That's kind of cool. I never knew that. So there'll never be like a Splenda vodka.
You can use Splenda as an ingredient in a cocktail or something like that. You can mix it with Splenda, but you can't brew a beer and ferment it with Splenda. Although, like, I guess technically you could, because Splenda is a sugar-based substitute. But you'd have to use a lot of it to get any alcohol, because it's specifically lower sugar. And B, it probably wouldn't ferment well. Probably wouldn't taste good.
What is it? Is it a plant? Like it's the leaves of a plant? Splenda?
The Splenda is sucralose. You're thinking about stevia.
Stevia is the leaf. Okay. One of them two.
Yeah.
So that was what we was drinking, or what we are drinking. I suggest hardly that you go and get the drink that Rain is talking about, because it is a really, if you love coffee and pumpkin spice like myself, that's a really delicious flavor.
It was really good. I actually quite liked it. It's Arabica coffee, so it's like, I guess Arabica tends to be a little bit less upfront, less aggressive. So that's it's nice. I like a good strong coffee, but I like just a good strong coffee.
Yeah.
I don't like it flavored with a bunch of other stuff. But this is nice because there's a hint of it. You know, mostly in the finish, mostly when you get that.
So they got a coffee that I forget who makes it. I found it in Walmart, and it's concentrate.
Death Wish.
I don't know, but you can add water to it to make it more like coffee. But when I get it, I don't add water.
Well, they have a lot of those. They have like a lot of your cold brews are concentrated.
Yeah. Cold brew was the name.
Yep.
It's pretty good. I like to just add almond milk to mine.
Nice. Very nice.
Very nice. Yo, my family found out about almond milk, man. We barely use cow's milk anymore.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Wait till you try oat milk.
Huh?
Wait till you try oat milk.
I don't know if I try oat milk. I know
Then again, good luck getting that from Starbucks.
True.
Well,
Like,
no,
even fucking Dunkin's always sold out of it.
no, I get oat milk from y'all. I'm sorry, almond milk for y'all. I make my own coffee drink sometimes, and I have my oat milk.
I had oat milk ice cream the other day,
Almond milk.
and it was good, but it's very creamy. Like it's very rich in like the texture, not the flavor necessarily.
Yeah.
But it's like
So it's like a thick.
yeah,
Yeah.
with at least 2 C's.
I mean, I don't know how water gyros usually are, but they usually come out pretty thick.
Thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. Thicker than a bowl of oat milk.
Oat milk.
Thicker than a bowl of oat milk ice cream.
That's the healthy version.
What's the next topic, Paul?
Just dig into it. Fuck it.
Looks like we're talking about Dune. Okay. So, very recently, each of us had the opportunity to see the cinematic event that is Dune. Denis Villeneuve is Dune. So, I suppose, first up, what do we think about it?
To the life of me, I don't know what that movie was about.
Yeah.
To the life of me, I don't know how I stayed up and watched that movie last night. To the life of me, if I known that Jason Momoa was gonna, are we spoiling?
Spoilers?
Yeah, fucking whatever.
If I had known Jason Momoa was gonna die that fast, I wouldn't have watched it. And he was barely in the movie, man.
I mean, it wasn't that fast.
It wasn't that fast, but compared to how much he was in the movie, that was kind of fast.
Oh, you missed your, what was his name? Gordon, Idaho?
Yeah, Duncan, Idaho.
Duncan, Idaho.
And I thought Batista was going to have a bigger role.
Wait for it.
Yep. So it's part 1 of 2.
So there's another one coming?
They officially announced that part 2 is on its way.
Yeah. So yeah, I told Ryan afterwards. So when I saw that part 1 in the very beginning, they say Dune part 1, I was like, because like I'm like I know it's a long story. That's why I wasn't surprised it was 2 hours and like 40 minutes. And I'm thinking, okay, if they could do like Justice League Snyder Cut and like break it up in different parts, like in the movie. And like they did, I'm like, okay, fuck, we're getting another movie.
Yep.
It's too much story, man.
Kind of.
Story
Kind of. So, yeah, Ryan, just do your thing.
So we all didn't like it.
So I think what Paul is talking about, I came up with a metaphor. Yeah, go ahead.
Is that the smoke glue?
No, that's this one.
Okay.
There you go. I came up with a metaphor for what this movie is like. This movie is like if someone got you a cake, and it was a beautiful cake. Mm-hmm. It's one of your favorite flavors of cake. It's the right flavor of the cake itself. It's the right icing, and it's gorgeous, and it's well decorated, and it seems so wonderful. And then somebody wrote you a message on the cake. But the message was so, like, intricately written in this, like, calligraphy-like thing, like, you know, that you fucking couldn't understand it at all. To the point where no matter how much you could possibly enjoy the cake, You're never gonna get why it was there.
Yeah.
Like,
I think I don't even want. I'm fine.
it's just well made. It looks good. The actors
It
are
was
good.
beautiful.
They're
It
like,
was-
their performances were great. The story, dense as it is, makes little to no sense.
I just didn't get it. I just didn't get what everything was about. I understand it was about like harvesting something
Spice.
spice that was the only way to space travel,
Okay, so
but it didn't explain.
All right,
I don't know.
okay,
Maybe I
okay.
don't know why.
here is the breakdown of the plot. The Imperium, the Emperor, the Lord, the King of the galaxy,
Space Lord, Mother.
the ruler of the known universe, has told this house that they're no longer in charge of this planet. This planet is the only place in the known universe where you can mine the element known as spice, and spice is what makes interstellar travel possible by helping the engines and making people psychic. I don't know. It was very confusing. That's probably what they actually do. That's what again, like people aren't like
Spice
huffing it.
expands consciousness.
They're not huffing it in the ships, but
It is also a drug for the native inhabitants of the planet. It's a drug in the way that, like, you're not really sure if it's recreational or if it's, like, spiritual. It's just part of their culture, like, you know, Rastafarians.
Or like opium.
Could be.
yeah, I wouldn't classify it as drugs. Again, it's just there. Like they can't avoid it.
Yeah.
You know, they can't wear their suits, like their masks 24/7. Like they have to be able to just breathe the oxygen of the air. But so they're called away from that planet, and then House Atreides is called in by the Emperor to take over the planet. Turns out, more spoilers, it's a trap. They're being sent there because the Emperor is afraid of their power and wants to destroy the house. And for some reason, he couldn't just do that. So he sets a trap up to send us to this planet. And then, like, I don't know, their first night there, like, they do a fucking massive fucking attack on them.
Yeah.
So, and they're beaten pretty easily, pretty quickly.
Yep.
Because, you know, they don't bother putting any guards up or patrols or ships or cannons on, or they do nothing to prepare for an attack. And the Duke knows going into it, it's a trap. They do nothing to prepare for this trap, even though the number 2 is super sus of everything. They do nothing to prepare for anything. Like, they're all in bed. I don't know why every soldier in the world is in bed, except for like 3 guys that get beaten by a doctor. But everybody's in bed. And then they just walk around the desert for an hour.
Yep.
Like, so like the whole crux of like the events is because the Emperor is afraid of Oscar Isaac's power. But again, they're beaten pretty easily, pretty quickly.
Yep.
All of them.
So why are you afraid?
Like even if you discount like the sabotage, like they had 3 people guarding the only defense for the whole goddamn city. And on top of that, you don't have anybody like in turrets ready to go. So like before they even get like any of the turrets or guns going, they're fucked. There's already bombs being dropped. There's already soldiers on the ground. I don't even know why there were soldiers on the ground. They just fucking kept dropping bombs. It made no sense anything else happened. And then like the main bad guy, the Baron, is like, I don't know, fucking like super space slug. Like he just keeps surviving everything. Like I don't understand his whole
yeah,
deal.
because they breathe the thing in his face right in everybody else died, but he come out the
And
water.
he's like gasping on the ceiling. He's like an evil Lionel Richie.
Gasping on the ceiling. Oh, what a feeling.
So again, going back to it. So this movie, and I explained to him too. Before I watched this movie, I already knew I was going to be frustrated with some parts of it because it has that sound that I don't like.
Oh my goodness!
Because
I hated that.
there are
sound.
so many big movies that have that, like whether it's orchestral or choral sounds or just vague, Middle Eastern like singing, like over like as like a vibe.
Yeah.
I already knew I was gonna hate that, and they used it so goddamn much.
I watched that movie with my Apple earbuds with the spiral, so it was very cool.
And like today, I was watching a breakdown of that scene where Timmy puts his hand in the old lady's box, and like I understood why the movie was so drawn out. He is a massive fan of the book. Denis Villeneuve. He is a massive fan of the book. He read it when he was 14. Like they went through a lot of effort to recreate and reenact a lot of the stuff from there. So again, whether it was his mother doing all the stuff that Paul should have been doing, the names make no sense either. Like a third of the names are like just normal ass names, like Paul, Jessica, Duncan, Idaho. What the site? Am I in Buck Rogers? Like, what the fuck is going on here? And then, like, a bunch of, like, made-up sounds for names for everybody else.
What was the name of the planet?
Arrakis.
Arrakis.
Atreides, and Hoenn. I don't know, the place for Pokemon.
Hoenn.
So, the movie visually is phenomenal.
It's
the
beautiful.
cinematography is well done.
It's beautiful.
And, I was talking to him, like, so it's 2 hours and, like, 40 minutes. I struggled to think of a scene they could take out to cut time. The only problem I have is that because he's so obsessed with playing out these moments and giving moments time to breathe, but they're sucking air so hard in these scenes. Mm-hmm. Like, there's so many shots of people standing and just staring. And just standing, looking. Like, I loved Oscar Isaac, but there's so many times of him just standing there looking.
He's just looking.
So many scenes of them just looking and staring at shit. So there's no scene. Like, and the worst part is, it moves fairly well. Like, they keep moving. Like, they don't sit on one scene for too long. There's just a lot of scenes, and like they all work. Like, none of them are like bad. I mean, maybe some things going a little too long, or like. I wish they would have built some more things up. Like the entire time, they're just not good.
It's not good.
So, like, what frustrated me too is, okay, so obviously, like, they get fucking worked pretty hard on their first night on this planet. Then they go, and immediately, the soldiers find them at the ecological center. And then, like, they just get away. And, like, even, like, his fucking premonition doesn't come true. Because he's not on the ground with a bunch of fucking Fremen. He murks all those dudes by himself.
Yep.
And he would have, your boy, Aquaman. Yeah. And he would have done more, he just, like, was getting tired. Yeah. They're just, like, so goddamn... And again, these are, like, the best trained soldiers in the Empire.
The Emperor's Blade.
Yeah. So, like...
But didn't the little kid have some kind of special abilities?
He can, like... kind of like see the future. Like, he has the ability of like those witches. I forget what they're called. Huh?
Ben and Gesserit.
Yeah, the Ben and Jerry's.
Yes.
He has like this.
Oh, my thing.
He has the ability to like
Ben and Jerry's witches.
He has the ability to like see kind of premonitions, like not quite the future, not quite
premonitions.
Nice.
Got it back.
Yeah, it was just so long, and I didn't know going into it that I didn't know. Again, I assumed it was gonna be a long movie, obviously because I knew it was a lot of content. I didn't realize 100% that it was gonna be a two-parter. And I think one of our biggest problems is that it doesn't end.
Yeah.
There's no proper ending to this movie, so it doesn't stand on its own. Like, it's not like what was your example?
As far as like where we're talking about with its comparison to A New Hope.
Well, I think you're saying Empire Strikes Back. Like it, like those movies have like proper endings.
They do. So, like, I know what you're talking about. What I was talking about is like Empire Strikes Back. One of the best sci-fi movies ever made. Certainly, like, probably the best Star Wars movie ever made. It ends on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But it finalizes the journey they were all on. Like, it shows, this is Luke, what he did to get to, went to Dagobah and this and trained under Yoda, and this is what happened with them, and then they get eaten by the space worm and this and that and the other. And everything is resolved, more or less. And then it ends with them basically saying, like, okay, the Empire has, kind of regained control. They've gotten their footing. They're back to being more or less in charge. What are the rebels going to do about it? This kind of just is like, they meet up, and then they're going to go do stuff.
I thought their biggest, I think she's their biggest actress or actor. I thought she was just going to be in the dreams. I didn't think she was going to be actually in the movie. Zendaya. I thought she was just going to be like dream. I'm like, oh, that's like real life. I dream of chicks all the time that's not in my movie.
Maybe you mean if I dream about Zendaya enough, she'll actually show up in my life?
That's what the movie say.
Can she bring Tom with her?
Sorry, you get Tim.
Just dream about Tom.
Yeah, like, so it's kind of, I guess, part of the thing is like his powers are like being able to see possible futures and recall the past with absolute clarity.
I thought he had like speaking, like he can make people do what he say.
The voice.
He's still learning that.
Yeah.
So what's special about him? Because he was supposed to be like the people see him as like.
He's the white Messiah.
Yeah, pretty
much. Well, I'm saying, but why? Why is he the Messiah?
Because he's white.
Because the Ben and Jerry's the Ben and Jerry's witches. We're
Ben and Jerry witches.
Yeah. We're trying to create a savior, like an ultimate being, through selective breeding.
Oh, that's right.
Basically, utilizing their powers and combining them with other people throughout and getting them to whittle down to one supreme being. And it was supposed to be a woman, but I guess Jessica, who was, as an example, Paul was talking about, Leto Atreides, the Duke.
Wasn't she the side piece?
Yeah, she was his concubine.
Yeah.
She was supposed to just, bear him a child because he was putting it to her. And she insisted on having a boy. I don't know how they do that. But, like, she bared him.
Your name is Toby.
Yeah. Boy.
She got that good.
She apparently, they had a boy. It was out of love for him. She bared him a son. So despite the fact that she was supposed to be the one to give birth to this final chosen one as a woman, a girl, she gave birth to a boy instead. And that's why Timothée Chalamet.
Wasn't she pregnant again?
Yes, I think she so, spoilers for the story, I guess she does have a daughter who, like, apparently is, like, develops super fast and, like is more or less, yes, this super being. But at that point, Paul has already kind of become the savior of Arrakis, more or less.
Oh, so you're going to have the baby killed?
I don't know. There's 4 books, dude. Actually, I think there's 5.
I didn't even know nothing about these books.
Yep.
When they said Dune, I thought we were talking about the one with the gun we played in the video on the computer.
Doom?
That's what I thought we were talking about. I was like, there's going to be some shooting up front.
Yeah, I think it was just. I think this was just an issue of, and also too. I think part of the interview that he says too that he was. He doesn't view it as a sci-fi film. He views it as a
fantasy.
No, a period piece. That's how he was approaching. That's how he was approaching the acting, because he wanted that kind of acting, because in his mind already the person in charge of this has a prejudice against sci-fi and fantasy. despite being a fanboy of the books themselves.
How's it going to be a period piece when there was never a period for that?
Because he wants that kind of acting. That's why a bunch of people in there were British actors or had British accents.
It explains a lot of the dialogue.
Yeah. It was very much up its own ass. Again, I love the cast. It looks amazing. Even though, again, like, you spend most of your time in the desert, like, the cinematography is well done. It's the shot choices, the editing, even, like, the score for the most part, other than the like, that part just personally, it drives a nail in my brain because it feels very, in my brain, I attach it with, like, Oscar bait. Like, you're doing this to make yourself seem more epic than it is. Because I've attached it with so many, like, mediocre movies.
In my brain, I thought I was going to get a fight between Batista and Aquaman. That's what I was waiting on.
Wouldn't that be something?
That's what I thought was going to happen, bro.
Sorry,
movie.
bro. Ain't getting shit.
And then when he died, I died too. We died together. That's love, homie.
So I can't speak for anything that I know of for sure. But apparently cloning does take a part in the later story.
All I know is I ain't gonna never forgive y'all for making me watch this movie. It was trash, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't make you do shit. I ain't make you do shit.
That was hot. That was gas, hot water can.
This movie is very frustrating because I think it had a lot more potential than I was expecting. But I think overall it ends up about where I expected it to be.
It was a great movie that goes straight to HBO. I feel bad for somebody that went to the theaters and see that. And
the playing part with this, so let's go back to our usual structure a little bit. So the budget was $165 million.
That's not bad.
I mean, considering what was in there, yeah, that's he did really well with what he got.
That's a good budget for that.
Again, he has a very well established cast.
Yeah.
Like I think none of them are necessarily huge demanding paychecks. I mean, you could maybe say Momoa or Oscar Isaac, maybe, but I think because it's part of an ensemble, and knowing that their screen time specifically was limited. Although again, I wish I saw more of both of them. So I loved the Duke and I loved Duncan, Idaho.
Thanos was in the movie.
Yeah, for like 4 minutes.
Yeah, I was
smiling.
I thought Thanos was going to be the referee.
Damn, smile.
I'm smiling. He sounds just like Thanos.
And again, he gets fucking marked.
I don't think he really did anything with his voice when he did Thanos.
He didn't do nothing. I thought him at Cable sound.
I mean, he's maybe a little bit more drawn out, maybe a little bit more.
He's a lower tone. He's speaking in like not necessarily quiet register, but like more of a stomach tone. Whereas Cable, I think, might be more of a chest tone, like a little. Yeah.
Yeah, he sounded different to me as Cable.
It was a lot more kind of just over the bullshit, exhausted. Whereas it was more like, I know I'm the best and deal with it. Yeah. So opening weekend in the U.S. was $41 million.
Quarter of his movie.
It released on September 15th in France and a bunch of other countries, and to date it's brought in $223 million.
Oh, they got their money back.
Well, almost. They moderately marketed. So I mean, like, they're probably almost even. So I mean, I am curious, like, how much it dual releasing on HBO Max affected it in the US. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, 41. It's not great, but fairly solid for a pandemic release. Yeah. Because I mean, I think we only had a couple movies do close to 100, and those were like your typical like Hollywood blockbuster films.
And I would say that on top of that, for as big of a thing as Dune is, it's really only for a specific audience.
Yeah.
This is not mass appeal. Like, this movie is not targeted at a wide demographic.
Well, and that's what we were getting to before too, because I think, like, yes, there is the demographic that like grew up with it, loved it, either watched the original, read the books, whatever. I am not one. I am aware of it, but I have never actually watched the film. I was aware an actor or two were in there, and I knew there was like big worms. like serious versions of the ones from Beetlejuice.
Big Worm.
Big Worm. I don't give a care.
Oh my God! Somebody needs to go ahead and replace Big Worm.
But like, I think the cast alone, I think, did a good job of marketing it on its own. Like hearing, Oscar Isaac, Jason Momoa, Dave Bautista, Timothy Chalamet
from?
Star Wars, a bunch of other stuff.
Deus Machina or Ex Machina.
I would say those planes that they had in the movie was pretty cool.
The Dragonfly planes.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Well, I think most of it was realized really well. Like I liked that everything wasn't like super sleek and like sexy.
Yeah,
like all the big ships like were built practically, like, or not. Again, I don't mean like built practically like in the real world. I mean like in that universe, they make sense how they're designed. They're not like overtly ornate. Like they're not like a lot of like smooth features for no reason. Like it's just like we need to get people from here to there. Here's a rhombus.
Yeah. Here's a big ass troop carrier.
Yeah, that's all we need. Like this is entirely like practical. We just need shit to go from here to there. It ain't gonna look pretty if I can go. And they're hulking and massive. And again, like honestly, this is one of the few movies where like I'm surprised that like the downfall for me was plotting and storyboarding.
That was it for me.
Like the story, I get what they were trying to do. Like build, where he's like, he's gonna be the savior for this planet. He just doesn't realize it yet, or he's seeing these images and not realizing what it means, and he's gonna get to that point. I understand that. I mean, I'll see the trouble with him again being another white messiah. Because most people there are people of color, but but
I didn't even notice that. God, dog, I gotta take off my conservative glasses more times.
But
gee, what do you think about that? A white boy coming in and saving a planet full of desert dwellers who hold on to a valuable resource that everyone needs.
Oh, Africa.
Well, I was thinking more Middle East, but
same thing.
there are a few black people there too.
No, but I thought the movie, for me, did I cut you off? I'm sorry.
Just storyboarding and plotting again, like how they set things up again. Like they don't build expectations at all, or they don't deliver on expectations again. Like the fight at the end.
And that was my problem with it. It felt like they only put the action because they had to.
Yeah.
Like if they didn't have to put action in, it would be no action in this movie. Yeah.
There was a lot of walking.
I'm like, blow something up, man. Look at that building right there. Blow it up.
I don't need that, but like when the action hits, it should mean something. Like even like when they invade, like it's over so quickly. Like who cares?
Like, Thanos, snap something. Thanos just looking at me. I'm like, snap something.
But then like that fight at the end, like that was probably one of the most disappointing parts of the movie.
Yeah, it was very disappointing.
Like you start off, they get there, they're surrounded by the Fremen, then like they go. She takes the chief hostage. He goes, beats up the one guy, goes off 2 other guys, beats them up, goes to a sniping post, and has his gun pointed and ready. One of the people he beats up is the person that challenges him and says. It challenges her and says they shouldn't go. And, like, everybody's like, you have no chance. He just beat him up! This just happened! In your face. All you were looking. There's only 2 enemies and you're both watching them. You're watching both of them.
It was an easy
and even then, when he's, like, freaking out, they're like, oh, this is going to be a good death. This is going to be a good way. He beats him pretty quickly. Like, the dude gets 1 punch on him, and he doesn't even bleed till the fight's over. And then he just, like... Pop, you're done. Oh, he doesn't know our rules. You have to kill him. Well, I don't want to. And then there's no, like, struggle, like Ryan was saying. There's no struggle of him, like...
There's no, like, moral conundrum of him being like, should I kill this person? Should I go against my own code? He just does it.
Well, it's like the boy's never taken our life.
Yeah. And then, like, wasn't he, like, a boy against a physical, like...
Like a grown man.
Like...
Well, and even, no matter his age, he's a frail human being.
When I said boy, I was talking about his body size. I wasn't talking about his hands.
They are.
I'm like, they both has been training all his life, but he's older. Yep. He's been training longer.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that they didn't do a great job of is apparently that bit where he's he's staring at the wall and like seeing his future or whatever. It's supposed to be him using his power to go through. He's basically like Doctor Strange in like he's just seeing 14 million futures and figuring out the one where he wins. Yep,
just the one.
Did you ever see the one where it was like where the meme where it's like all the different things that he was actually saying? One of them was like, "1 second, I'll help you as soon as I'm done with this dam." And then it was like, just give the glove to Captain Marvel. She can handle this.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's worth watching. It's worth having in the background.
Yeah.
It looks really good. I mean, like I said, my issues are structural.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Halfway, I might have pulled out some 2K. I might have not.
It definitely needed a better ending point.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend that you watch this movie on HBO Max and make yourself a nice dinner and get some booze and watch it that way.
On the couch.
Yeah.
And if you wake
Relax
up
and like enjoy the beautiful vistas and the confusing storyline, but get a good bit hammered to where it doesn't really matter.
the cinematic and the sound,
yeah,
it was amazing, especially in Spiral.
What?
Spiral audio.
I don't know what that is. Is that an Apple people thing?
Yeah.
Is that a you people thing?
The best of people's.
It's like you watched this in the Spyro? Like the game?
Literally, dude, it's like people was behind you. Now you be looking like I be having my earbuds in, bro. I be getting scared, bro.
It's okay, I don't care.
911.
It's okay, I don't care. No disrespect.
I'm tired of y'all with y'all little Samsung eliteness.
With all disrespect, with all
Listen,
respect, and I mean with all due
listen,
respect.
Mr. Kettle, please leave his pots alone.
Listen, I got a good Samsung story. It's funny. So, me and my brother a couple weeks ago, his phone had to upgrade. So he wanted to upgrade. He didn't know what he wanted to upgrade to. My brother's older than me. Like mentally, he's older than me. Like man, I'm gonna give me a flip phone. But then he did some research on the fold. The one that you can fold, not the flip, but the fold. And he got all excited, so we went to Comcast and everything, and they were like, "Oh, we don't have the fold." So while he was there, he started looking up the flip, and he was like, "We don't have that one either." He said, "The only phone we have is a Motorola." That's all they had in the store. So right now, he's rocking a Motorola phone right now.
Interesting. I used to like Motorola.
Yeah, we used to have the landline Motorola phones.
Yeah, Marvel was fine when there was when it was them at Nextel.
But on the real though, I've been thinking about going back to a flip phone.
No, yeah.
No, I'm dead serious.
No, you're not.
I'm trying to be more present.
No, you're not.
I really am. I'm trying to be more present. And then I got a tablet already, which I use tablet more than I use my phone.
No, you're not.
Nah.
Nobody calls me.
Who's calling us?
I'm always working. No one calls. I got my cousin. He's locked up, and I sent him a couple of dollars, and he may or may not have a phone in his somewhere in his room that he hides very well. But the flip side of that is that he'll call me in random hours.
His ass.
I don't know what he had. I say, "Cuz, how you do it?" I say, "Nah, don't do it, bro. Don't tell me." But like he's got so much time on his hand because he's doing life that he just have time on his hands. So he'll call me, "Cuz, what you doing?" I'm like, "Bro, you called me 5 minutes ago, doing the same thing. I'm at the gatehouse." So don't ever get your cousin the phone in jail.
I'm in the same situation as you, but I can leave. A small ass room that holds the same place that I piss.
I gotta sit here for 8 hours a day, blood. 8 hours a day. Yeah, you've been in my office, so you know how small it is.
Bigger than my office. I have to share an office with my meat department manager.
At the same time?
Yes. Sometimes.
Do you lie and say it ain't mine? What's your name now? I'm Slim Shady. I'm black. I'm black.
So consensus on Dune. It's fine, but not worth going to the theaters for sure.
Yeah, I mean, unless you just like really love movies and want to see it like in the full like big screen, but like because again, it looks amazing, but she's gonna fall asleep. Like it has an art house vibe.
It's not fine to me at all. I don't want to watch part 2.
D does not have any interest in the Dune.
I do not. From henceforth, I shall not Dune it up.
D doesn't have any interest in seeing the struggle of these brown people who live in a desert resolve their issues.
People of color.
People of color.
Assorted shades.
Yes.
Speaking of loaded questions.
So, D, this is a Halloween themed loaded question.
We've saved for you.
But it's very specifically for you. So,
Good.
horror movies, we all love them. They're fun, enjoyable. I know you said you hadn't seen a whole lot of them, but I got a question for you. Since I know you're a big fan of the WWE. Who's the best wrestler in a horror movie? You got a couple options just right out the gate, but you can put them whenever you want.
I kind of remember. Go ahead.
Bill Goldberg in Santa's Slay, Kane in See No Evil, or Hornswoggle in Leprechaun Origins. Or anyone you want to choose. Those were just examples.
So it's going to be between Kane and Bill Goldberg because not only were they scary in their movies, but they were scary in real life. Bro, I was scared of Goldberg, bro. When he blew the smoke out his nose, bro, little 12-year-old D was like, yo, mama. And then with Kane, Undertaker brother, and like Undertaker slammed him in the coffin, and then he sat up. I went straight to bed. I ain't even finished the match. I was so scared. So both of them were scary, like mad scary to me. But I'm a bigger fan of Goldberg. But to be fair, I never seen neither movie.
So your vote is for Goldberg.
When he was undefeated, he was scary.
I saw screenshots of these, so I did not watch them either because I'm good. Kane again fits the part much better.
Yeah.
He already plays that role. They just give a movie for it.
Yeah.
But it was hilarious to see Goldberg in like Santa overalls just running around with a knife.
Oh yeah,
She was hilarious.
So in all fairness, I haven't seen any of those movies either.
Trifecta.
If I had to pick between those three, I would probably say I'm going to go with Kane. But just because I agree with you, D. Kane was always actually one of my favorite wrestlers. And I love their gimmick, and I just liked how he was just this big, buff, 7-foot-tall dude who just manhandled people, just threw him around, choke slam him, and he was just, people run up and punch him in the face, and he just, and flip the hair back. Raising the snow cell. Never said a word.
Not only that, he was the first one that kind of dominated The Undertaker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, if you put that in, like, Undertaker was this phenom that was dominant. He was the dead guy. And then you had a guy that was more deader because he was died by burning. Yep. Like, he burned to death. That's even deader.
Yep. That's the most deadest.
That's the deadest you can be.
And then just like that's crazy. And, taking a step in the other direction and being in a movie, being a serial killer type. Being, super crazy, terrifying, that's cool as shit, but probably the scariest thing that he ever did, the most terrifying thing, the most evil thing that he ever did, was become the mayor of Knox County. Tennessee. Interesting thing, in order to remember the name of the county that he was in, I googled it really quick. But apparently he was born in Spain.
Huh.
Full name is Glenn Thomas Jacobs.
Yep, Jacobs.
Yep.
I didn't know Thomas part, but I knew Glenn Jacobs.
And probably the most frightening thing, and of course the most evil thing, he's a Republican. So I guess out of those three, we've all kind of picked our own choices.
You got a trifecta like all the way.
But to be fair, Paul is taking a moment to go to the restroom. But I didn't want this to drag on too much longer. But I will say, I think the true answer to this is the best wrestler in a horror movie is Roddy Piper in They Live.
That's right.
Yeah.
You didn't do that. Yeah. Yeah.
And it is a horror movie. It's a fucking John Carpenter movie. Like,
Can we just talk about this? The writers for WWE was so underrated.
Yep.
Those are some great writers, bro.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is I think that what they were really great at is just improvising a lot of things, and just being able to flip from one thing to another and make different storylines happen and bring it all together with the announcers and everything.
That's kind of cool.
It is. I mean, wrestling is more or less like a male soap opera, but all in all, I mean, I think it's fun entertainment. It's good.
The writing was amazing.
So, Paul, what you missed is that we were talking about the most evil thing that Glenn Jacobs ever did was become mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. As a Republican.
Piece of shit.
Yeah. And I unfortunately kind of, whether this was underhanded by me or not, I think we really kind of completely left out the one probably true answer to this question of who the best wrestler in a horror movie is. Roddy Piper in the film They Live. I came here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of gum.
The true inspiration for Duke Nukem.
Hey, Kevin.
Well, he's part Roddy, and he's part Bruce Campbell, and various other things. Anyways, so, boys, we've got a main topic here.
I gotta go.
He's got to go. Well, I tell you what. Just contribute to this very quickly, as little as you want. Rotten Tomatoes has released a list of the worst horror movies of all time. I doubt you got a chance to look at the actual list. But do you have a personal bottom 5?
My top 5.
Top 5 worst?
Okay, my worst. Oh no, then I don't have a top 5. I got top 5 best.
I mean, I think you only know 5, so probably the same list, just in reverse order.
Yeah. So I guess I go with my top 5 worst.
Go, just give us your top 5. Doesn't matter at this point.
The best would be at top, and the one would be the worst. Best one is Killer Aliens from Outer Space. Number 2 would probably be Vampire in Brooklyn. Number 3 probably would be Leprechaun in the Hood. That was good. That was bad too. That was a good bad. Number 4 would be Tales from the Hood. Do y'all remember that? Mm-hmm. Oh, they had something called the Little Nigglets. They were like little whatnots that was on the counter, and they came to life. And they was literally in a movie called Nigglets.
No, I'm not allowed to say that.
yeah, I'm not. But these things were scary. They were like old slaves and everything, and they were just going around killing white people.
Like you do.
Bro, I didn't write this movie. I'm just telling you what it was. So it was funny, bro, because like you had like an old lady that looked like Harriet Tubman, and when they all came alive, she was in a chair like this, just looking. So that'd be number 4, and number 5 would probably be what's the scary one for that 5? Scary, that's worse. What's the one when they went under the bed? The clowns came from under the bed, or the monsters came from under the bed. With Fred Savage.
Oh,
one
Little
of the
Monsters?
Little Monsters.
Yeah, you like that one?
Oh, I love Little Monsters. That was my movie.
We actually, just last week, we did the list of our favorite family-friendly horror/scary movies.
Yeah, that'd be that.
Well, that's the thing. IMDb, was it IMDb? IMDb, one of the websites had a list of the all-time greats. Number 1, can you guess what it was?
Little Monsters?
No. Little Monsters wasn't even on the list.
He won't. So just go on.
Okay. It was Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay. I see that.
So again, it's not necessarily the most horrifying movies or anything like that. It's the best scary / Halloween movies or. So yeah, that one wasn't even on there, but that was one that we added, ourselves.
That was a good one.
That's probably in my top 5, as far as like family friendly.
There was Monsters on there. Was Monsters Inc. on there?
It was, which is just Little Monsters but Pixar.
Yeah, basically.
Like, and to be honest with you, if I had to pick between the two of them, I would pick Little Monsters.
But Monsters ain't that far behind though. That's a pretty good series.
Yeah, not bad at all. But it's less of a horror or scary movie, or even like a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
More of a just flat out Pixar movie.
Yeah, fun.
Yep. Well,
that's my 5, and I'm sticking to it. Ladies and gentlemen, D out. That trick part's getting up.
ladies,
My legs are so hurt. Come on.
get it. Do it.
The spirit of Spider-Man prevails me. I did it.
Nice. I'm glad. I'm happy for you. All this time I believed in you.
It was touch and go for me.
You can do it, Pimp Lucius.
Well. Do you enjoy the work?
I will not.
Perfect.
But I will enjoy the paycheck that precedes it.
Don't. It's a full wall. I was looking over this list here.
A racetrack lighter, Paul. 7-11, son, I got the points. Oh.
But they had empanadas.
True change.
This maybe. But 7-11 got the beef patties.
They do, but not always.
That's nice too.
Whether you like them or not, they always have the empanadas, even if they're bricks.
You don't get the points though.
They don't bother taking things out.
You're missing the point. I get empanadas. So I guess kind of a speed. Like, obviously I don't want to go through all these movies, but
There's a lot of
speed
them
run. Some ones that stand out, going from work our way down towards the bottom.
Well, it's interesting that first one on top of the list is Martyrs, which actually is heralded by a lot of horror and gore hounds as being a brave new introduction to the French extremity movement, which is like kind of this apparently new wave of French horror movies that were extremely heavy on gore and things like that. So it's interesting to see that on there. And to be sure, it is not a mainstream horror movie by any stretch.
Yeah.
So I can see why on a list like this, Rotten Tomatoes, it would be on there.
Yeah, I think they just went strictly off of ratings.
I think so too.
Because I think there's some on here that, like, I don't necessarily think fall in the worst categories.
No.
Like, granted, like, to be expected, it's a movie we just talked about, See No Evil. It's down here. Not a great movie by any means. I know Brahms the Boy.
It's the beats. Like,
Yeah, it's a pretty standard fare. Species 2 belongs down here.
American Werewolf in Paris is on here. What a shame. I enjoyed that movie. It was silly and fun. It's like American Werewolf in London if it wasn't so serious.
I don't think the first one was that serious.
Have you seen it in a while?
I watched a few reviews of it.
Okay. I think it ends with him dying, like getting shot by cops or whatever.
Well, death isn't necessarily serious.
Not in like a silly way or anything. You just like, no hope for him. He's dead now. Waiting Noise is on here, which is weird because, like, I don't even know if I actually consider that like a horror movie.
I don't.
Uh,
While I love it, and Christine wanted me to make a point of defending it, I understand why Darkness Falls is on here.
Fair enough.
I enjoy it, but yeah, it is what it is. Jason Takes Manhattan, that name says enough.
Troll 2.
Slender Man. Yeah.
They're eating her. And then they're going to eat me next. Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, just screaming for 9 minutes for no reason. Oh man, so good. Blumhouse's Fantasy Island. Ugh. What a bold way to take that IP.
Yes. Yeah. That's so strange.
I bet you didn't see that coming.
There was a remake of Jacob's Ladder, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on there.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think the common theme amongst these is just, like, flat bad. Not, like, bad in an entertaining way. But just, like, boring.
Yeah.
House of the Dead is on here. Like, that was actually kind of entertaining.
Hell, I wouldn't even go as far as to give the justice being called a horror movie.
No. At best, it's a zombie movie.
Yeah.
Alone in the Dark. So, something that I personally don't necessarily directly agree with, but understand it being here. Return of the Living Dead Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
More or less because Part 2 is a bit of a retread of Part 1. And Part 1 is definitely better for what it is. But I still think Part 2 is enjoyable. Much more enjoyable than the other sequels of the Return of the Living Dead series. Those were all kind of garbage. Cabin Fever remake.
I'm surprised it's there.
The remake? I think the remake was pretty bad. Jaws the Revenge. The shark follows him.
Yeah.
One Missed Call. Yeah, I feel like I vaguely remember seeing this movie, and it wasn't good. I'd probably have to see bits of it to.
I mean, is it
remember exactly.
bad enough to be the worst horror movie of all time? I mean, that's a strong
Is this in
category.
order, or is it just a list?
I mean, I have to believe it's in order.
It's a 0% on the Rotten Tomato thermometer. But so does Jaws the Revenge, and so does Cabin Fever, and so does Disappearance.
Everything in the top 6 are like that. So, okay, so their list looks like it pretty much exclusively just puts it in order from 0% up and going out.
Yeah.
Mostly. They throw Nothing But Trouble pretty far down there, even though that's 13%.
So, Jaws the Revenge has a 0% on the thermometer and a 15% on the audience score, whereas One Missed Call has a 0% on the thermometer and a 29% on the audience score. So, I don't know if that's exactly the way they were going with it.
Well, I don't. Okay, so I feel like they just took all the zeros and put them on the bottom, and they just kind of whatever order they wanted to put them in.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like One Missed Call, I'm aware of the film, but I think it was biggest sin again was just being boring.
I think that's what it is. And
Like,
a lot of the movies on this list are just boring, not worth mentioning.
But I mean, like, but like in that sense, I would rather put like say Jaws: The Revenge #1 instead, because it takes one of the most iconic
horror
movies and makes it fucking a joke.
Yep.
Like shit like that. Like that's what should be down there.
The shark follows.
So whether it's a bad remake or a bad sequel or something that like actively like works against its own premise.
Well, and even like One Missed Call, like that's not good. But I remember seeing the remake of When a Stranger Calls, and that was hot garbage. Like that was boring as fuck. Hell, I just watched a movie the other day. I watched 2 movies the other day that could be easily be on this list. The most recent, Black Christmas, because I guess they did that again in 2018, which it isn't even a remake of the original or the remake. It's like a totally unrelated story that just uses the same title and is takes place in a college at with a sorority on Christmas, but it's an entirely different story. And then the other one that I watched, and I didn't even finish it because it was bad. It was on Tubi, and it was a film that I believe goes by Horror Planet in some markets, but was listed as Inseminoid. And apparently it was a very early 80s Alien ripoff that it is hot garbage. But apparently like an alien impregnates one of the crew members of this space crew and shenanigans ensue. But there's a scene in which there's a scene in which they almost entirely rip off the mess hall scene from the first Alien movie that vaguely kind of hints at the chest burster type thing. Like a guy's like, oh, I don't feel so good, but does nothing with it. Like it's just almost a remake, a recreation of it. It's just like the people are all around, and the guy who was like picked up from this alien planet or whatever was unconscious and has been getting examined and everything. He just shows up at the table and he's like, "Oh, I'm not feeling so good," and then he just leaves. Like,
that sounds right.
Yeah. And then like one of the deaths is like the same guy eventually kind of goes cuckoo, and he's like going outside of the space station and like into the dangerous, I don't know what they're in, if they're in like a mine or if they're in like just a rocky planet, but he's out there, and apparently the atmosphere is either deadly or it's freezing cold and they have to wear their suits, but like the people are chasing after him, and one of the members of the team gets like briskly shoved off of a platform, and it's not like a big tall platform where like they would fall to their death. She just gets shoved off of this platform, and her foot gets stuck in between a rock, and her suit like starts failing or whatever, so she has to like take off this thing which just looks like a wristwatch, and like this one guy is telling her, walking her through how to rewire her suit so that it doesn't so it doesn't fail, and he's like, you gotta connect this wire to this, and she's like, I can't, and like the whole scene is her like going, I can't, I just can't, and her like all she has to do is like connect a wire on her watch. So what does she do as she's panicking and everything? For some reason, she takes her helmet off, sticks the air tube in her mouth, and then gets this saw thing and tries to cut through her own leg that is stuck. It's not a particularly gory scene. It looks cheap as fuck and dumb, and the entire setup is really dumb. It's awful. It's really bad. Never watched the movie.
Well, then I'll ask you this as sort of a pivot away from this towards hopefully something better.
What?
Did you watch the trailer for Black Friday?
I did not. What's Black Friday?
New horror movie coming out.
Okay.
Starring Devon Sawa,
Okay.
Michael
He's
Jai
still
White,
alive?
Michael Jai White,
He's still alive?
and Bruce Campbell.
He's still alive. Could be interesting.
The basic premise is they are opening their store at midnight for Black Friday, and nearby there is an alien crash and a parasite takes over the civilians.
Yep.
And it starts off slow, then obviously it just gets worse and worse. So all of a sudden they're like, it's almost like like Evil Dead. Like they're just like fucking like monsters. Like their like faces are all like fucking like monster and shit. And
That sounds like fun.
they're trying to like build this thing in the store for some reason, and they're just trying to like kill them and survive.
It's a commentary on capitalism is what
And
it is.
he plays the manager, so now he finally got the promotion at S-Mart. He has a mustache, I believe, and a bow tie.
That's dangerous. Bruce Campbell with that chin and a mustache and a bow tie. Ooh. The authority he must wield.
He also wears a sweater, so he's not threatening.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
You have to tone all that down.
it looks interesting. I'm not sold yet, but it looks interesting. It's coming out like whatever, November 19th. Looks like.
Cool. Michael Jai White. What was the last thing I saw him in? I suppose Arrow. He was Bronze Tiger. Paul, you got any picks for worst movie of all time? Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Leprechauns 4.
Yeah.
I don't know because it's
Is that
like
the one with Jennifer Aniston?
No, I think she was in the first one.
I think you're right.
4, I think, was when they go to the hood.
Leprechauns in the Hood.
I don't know. I can't say that because I think that one's so bad it's kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I mean, most of the movies on here make sense because they're just bad. They're just bad.
Yeah.
Like they're not like so bad they're good or so like so overdeveloped they're bad. They're just like poor premises, poorly executed.
Yeah.
They're just like blah. You like shit. You just either like turn off or fall asleep during. So I mean, all these feel pretty solid. I'd probably go with Jaws or The Revenger.
Yeah. That's definitely up there.
Just helping to ruin your own damn thing.
Ben?
Just helping to ruin your own damn thing.
Yeah. There are plenty of awful movies out there to watch. If you were so inclined. Many of them are on Tubi. See, I wish I could remember a lot of these things that I watched because I've seen quite a few shitty ones. I feel like there was something on Netflix recently that I watched that was like, ugh.
Was it the final episode of Squid Game?
No, I enjoyed that one. That was fine. I especially like the fact that his friend killed himself after being spared. Like, we can go home and all our friends. Nope.
And that was the best part, and it was in the first 10 minutes of the episode.
I remember what it was that I didn't much care for. It was this new movie on Netflix, and it was called... I'm trying to look for it on here. There's Someone in Your House. Starts out with a solid premise. First scene is not half bad. So basically the premise...
Just give your overall thoughts on it. I don't care. I'm not going to watch it. Okay. And we're already like 2 hours in.
Okay. It sucks. Don't watch it. Bye.
2 hours in. Bye.
Bye.